Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Putt.
Earthlings, how you doing today? Welcome back to First Contact Radio. Glad that you could be here yet again. It's been about a week, 10 days since I've been here. Last time you got to report that I gave my thoughts on this whole process. I hope you've had a chance to listen to that. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as we go along. But in the meantime, let's get to today's activities. Today is the 4th of November, the year 2016 on the Gregorian calendar. The 4th of November brings with it the sun sign of Scorpio, represented in the tarot cards by the card of death, and our moon sign is the Capricorn, tarot card of the devil. So today and over the weekend, this is what we're dealing with. These two. Seems very ominous, doesn't it? The death and devil. Well, death is transformation. The devil is illusion. So what we're dealing with over the course of this weekend is we're dealing with the illusion of the physical world that has to do with the Capricorn energy, the devil energy, playing itself out through our unconscious mind, while our conscious mind is dealing with transformation, okay? So we are all dealing with the process of transformation that we are going through. We are all being transformed. Now, with death, with Scorpio, we have a water sign. Water signs are emotions, okay? It is our emotional buttons that continuously get pushed, and these are the things that we need to protect ourselves from getting our buttons pushed. And of course, with the illusionary world, if we are only caught up in the illusions of things, then we're trapped in ignorance, like the two people chained to the box here. Completely ignorant of their situation because they are caught up in the illusion that the physical reality is all that there is, and therefore that's what they get. As I talked about last show, I spoke about the ideas that there is something more going on than just the physical realities of this particular election process. There's something bigger happening to us. We are going through a transformation ourselves. We can't get caught up in the illusion of what's going on, and especially as we're going into this weekend, we don't want to get caught up in the illusions that we are being fed, because there's a truthfulness behind the situation, and that is being exposed. Okay, let's look at some of our aspects for today. Coming up at 11:39 a.m., that part of ourselves that is the wounded aspect, the wounded part of ourselves, Chiron, is going to be in a square with Venus, which wants us to use our imagination in the way we heal, the way we are able to heal ourselves. So very important that we look at our imagination and how it can provide healing into our lives. 4:34 p.m., Pluto brings some deep transformation into the mix itself, and that would not be Pluto, that would be Neptune. So Neptune is wanting us to take a new perspective. Neptune is going to be in a sextile with Capricorn, and then finally 9:56 p.m. Jupiter is going to be in a square with Capricorn, wanting to expand everything, okay? Expand out the world around us means there's an opportunity for more illusion, but there's also an opportunity to see past the illusion, okay? The moon phase for today is 20.4%. It's a waxing moon, which means we're going upwards towards the full moon. The full moon will take place on the 14th of November. Now on the Jewish calendar, today is 3 Cheshvan, and the year is 5777. 777 are numbers, 3 numbers that are talked about quite specifically throughout the Bible in various different places. 777 is always a good number, a good omen of things to come. So whatever's going on, we just need to keep our wits about ourselves, know that there's something bigger at stake than just what we think about happening in this physical reality. The thought for today is the ark. There is a raging storm at sea. There are hellish waves that crash and pound at shore, carrying all away, leaving desolation behind. The sea is the world of making a living. The waves are the stress and the anxiety of indecision and not knowing which way to turn, on what to rely. Up, down, hot, cold, constantly churning back and forth. Do as Noah did. Build an ark. An ark in Hebrew is tavaya, which means also a word. Your ark should be the words of meditation and a prayer. Enter into your ark, let the waters lift you up rather than drown you with everything else. Okay, so there's a really good suggestion when it gets to the point of all of the water, all of the emotions that go on with the Scorpio. Build an ark. Prayer, meditation. Have that structure around yourself to protect you from all of those emotions, okay? And finally, our solar weather, space weather, solar wind 372.9 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is quiet at the moment, however, we will probably be unsettled over the next 24 hours. Our coronal hole, we have one on top of the sun. M-class flare possibility and X both at 1%. Geomagnetic storm activity in the mid-latitudes looks like it is subsiding, going down from 30 to 15. And in the high latitudes, it is also subsiding as well. In the severe range, dropping down from 40 down to 20% over the next 24 to 48 hours. So the wind breathes in and out. Got a nice good image of the moon out here with Venus underneath it. Okay, so there you go. That is our cosmic weather for today. That's everything that we're energetically dealing with. Now, it's so important, in my opinion, that we look at the energies that are happening with us, because we are affected directly by the energies around us. We're in a huge fishbowl, and within this fishbowl, from the top down to the earthly area, we are immersed in energy. Energy that comes from the planets, from the stars, from the world around us. Energy that comes from each one of the beings walking around on this world that are both receivers and senders of energy in terms of our thoughts and ideas that we send out into the world. It's an energy field that is filled with all of the telecommunications and communications, electronic communications that make their way into there, and we each and every day are subject to all of this energy. Therefore, it is important that we understand, as we're moving within this field of energy, what is the energy field we're moving in, so that we don't get caught up in it. We understand and we don't know how to work through it. All right? So there you go. UFO News is up next.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk, thank you very much. Today, I have 4 stories. Story number 1 comes to us from MARIETTA. This was seen on October 8th. A resident claims that she saw an unidentified flying object above Pike Street. It's a mystery Heather Clark, 41, has been trying to solve. Around 8:45 p.m., Clark was the parking lot of Lafayette Shopping Center on the phone with her friend Tiffany Stump, 33, of Wilmington. Clark was facing east when she saw 30 to 40 yellowish orange lights begin to shoot up from the sky from what appeared to be Walmart on Pike Street. It looked like fireworks, but they were much bigger than that, said Clark about the shooting lights. After the lights shot up in the sky, Clark said they stopped and began moving down the sky, forming what appears to be a chevron pattern. After the sighting, she reported it to several agencies. The case particularly interested us, said Peter Davenport, director of the National UFO Reporting Center. Part of the reason I am intrigued is because there are somewhere between 10,000 and 15,000 reports submitted to our center similar to this cluster of lights. Clark decided she wanted to get a closer look at what these lights could be and began to drive closer. As she drove, the lights began to form a huge V-like shape. She just kept saying that she didn't know what it was, said Stump, who was on the phone with Clark for the entire duration of the light show. As she pulled into the parking lot of Walmart to take another photo of the lights in their V shape, the lights shut off and only one light remained. The one light remained for about 5 to 10 minutes before phasing out, said Clark. I could clearly see what looked like a mothership above the V lights. After experiencing this unexplained phenomena, Clark reached out to friends and family to try to figure out what it was. This freaked me out. It's so bizarre. I don't know what it was, she said. And of course we have a nice good video right here. I could, well, this is an older one here. Anyway, there you go. That's our first story. Let's move over to the next one here. Ireland, UFO shoots over a car. There's our object in question. All we have here is just this video. October 8th is the date of this particular video. 52 seconds in length is the video itself. Alright, and there's a slow motion version so we could see a little bit better. There we go. Okay, it happens real quick over on this side of the screen here. Let me see if I could slow it down as soon as it happens. It happens very quickly. There's the still image right there. Alright, leave the link available so you can check it out for yourself, see what you think. This sighting took place above New York on the 1st, just a few short days ago. Video itself 21 seconds. There's our object. Looks like it has like 3-4 lights on it above the city and just hovering right there. Not a helicopter. Helicopters don't look like that. But whatever it is, there it is. And finally, one last piece here. Zecharia Sitchin and the ET origins of humanity. If you've been studying the field of ufology for any period of time, you undoubtedly have come across the name Zecharia Sitchin. Known for his provocative interpretations of ancient Akkadian clay tablets, Zecharia Sitchin read the words of our most ancient ancestors as fact, and through decades of meticulous research showed that these ancient tablets revealed a coherent narrative about the extraterrestrial inhabitants of Earth and the origins of modern humanity. The video itself is 1 hour, 1 minute, and 55 seconds. Well worth your watch. I've heard Zecharia Sitchin speak on many occasions. I had an opportunity through an organization I was working with to get to know him. Very nice gentleman, very well informed, and his stories have always been intriguing stories for myself and for many others. And if you listen to the interview, you'll find that there's always something new to learn. Zecharia is filled with a wealth of knowledge that he offered to us as humanity before he left the earth, and this information is here for us to learn from, to grow from, and to be able to help us understand what's going on with this whole phenomena that we're dealing with. Take it with a grain of salt, as with everything else. Some people believe what Zecharia says, some people don't. You know what? I think there's a lot of wisdom there. I think there's a lot of important information that's there, and the people that don't like him, well, haters will be haters, and that's just kind of how it is at times. But those who are paying attention can understand the importance of what is in the work that he presented. All right, that's our UFO news for today. Stay tuned. I'll be back just a few moments. Wake up. All right, then again, maybe not. Maybe that's not going to work. You know what we're going to do? We're just going to jump right in to the next group of stories. How about that? Okay, so we've got the whole political process which is taking place. And I know that many people are extremely overwhelmed by the whole process. They just want it to be over. It's been a long race, it's been a long year, it's been a long battle that has ensued. We're not out of the woods yet, and there's still a lot of things taking place. Now, the mainstream media is really working diligently to try to discourage you from going to the polls, from going to vote, from participating in the process. Throughout the years, we've had the constant communication of whether voting mattered or not, that presidents are selected, not elected, and therefore what difference does it make? Well, to a degree, there is truth to this. But part of the reason we're in the problem we're in is because we have abdicated our ability to be involved in the process. We've become apathetic. And so as we've not become involved in the process, more and more of the process decision making has been taken over by those in power. And therefore the people are pushed out a little bit more each and every time. Things are changing though once people start paying attention, as they're doing right now. People are paying more attention than they have over this last 5 years, over the last 10 years. And this paying attention, being involved in the process, may not get us all of the changes we want instantly. It might not, but at least it is making us more aware of what's going on. We're seeing the corruption that's out there. Now, if we were to take our political bias and move it aside and just look at situations for what they are, anybody that has two brain cells to rub together can see the amount of corruption that is being exposed between our governments, between the medias, between the various agencies that are supposed to be working for the betterment of the American citizens. We could see that these agencies have been compromised. We could see through all of these various leaks, whether it be Anonymous, Project Veritas, WikiLeaks, or any other place where the leaks are coming from. In all of this, we see a tremendous amount of corruption. Now, this corruption is not being presented by the mainstream media. They want you to remain ignorant to it. I'm not quite certain what their end game is. I mean, do they really think that they're going to be immune from the problems that are created from the lies that they tell? If bad things happen because the ruling and the, for example, let's say Hillary gets in office and she wants to bring in all of these refugees. If these refugees are coming in from parts of the world where they abuse people, and if these people come into the country then and abuse American citizens, well, we really have no one to blame but ourselves, because the writing's on the wall. We could see what's going on in Germany. We could see the problems that are ensuing when we don't pay attention to what our leaders are doing. So it's very important that we take a look at these situations now. We've only got a couple of days. Now, I think this battle is going to play out. I don't think we're going to know exactly the next day who the president is going to be, because one thing is for certain. Hillary Clinton will cheat. Okay? She's already been branded as a cheater. That's what she does. So she's going to cheat. She doesn't know how not to cheat. So we can expect that's what she's going to do. That should not be a surprise. People should not be surprised to hear that she or the Liberal Party is going to try to cheat. It's just what they've become, unfortunately. just because they try to cheat doesn't mean they're going to get away with it. And as more people are paying attention, it's going to help them from getting away with it. You see, what happens when we put the new president in office is going to be quite an effect upon the people. If we put the wrong person in, it's going to affect us for a long, long time. Therefore, we need to get this right. We need to get this right not just for you and I, but for all of those who come after us. The children, the grandchildren, all of the people who need and would like to have a future. Well, we're not going to have the kind of future that we should have if we have the wrong person in power. And in my opinion, Hillary and those who are in power right now are completely the wrong people. I say that simply because I can look back over history and I could see where we're at in the world today and realize there's been a lot of bad decisions that have been made by those who are in power. And we have one candidate who has been part of that system for all the years. So when we look at all of the problems that occur, we look at Hillary Clinton and understand that she was there. She was involved in all of these problems that went on. She was involved in this process for so many years, and therefore we can't really look to her to be the solution to the problems because she was part of the creation of the problems. So as we go forward and we look at what's taking place this next couple days, let's understand the reality of the situation as opposed from the illusion that we're going to be told. Next couple days, they're going to hit hard. They're going to ignore this. But what I'm going to show you is some links to help you understand that there is a lot more going on in a positive manner than we are being told. Here's an article, Breaking Bombshell. Lots of bombshells these days. New York Police Department blows the whistle on new Hillary email. Money laundering, sex crimes of children, child exploitation, pay to play, perjury. New York Police Department detectives and prosecutors working an alleged underage sexting case against former Congressman Anthony Weiner have turned over newly found laptop he shared with wife Huma Abedin to the FBI with enough evidence to put Hillary Clinton and her crew away for life, NYPD sources told True Pundit. NYPD sources said Clinton's crew also included several unnamed yet implicated members of Congress, in addition to her aides and insiders. The NYPD seized the computer from Weiner during a search warrant, and detectives discovered a trove of over 500,000 emails to and from Hillary Clinton, Abedin, and other insiders during her tenure as Secretary of State. The content of these emails sparked the FBI to reopen the defunct email investigation into Clinton on Friday. But new revelations on the contents of that laptop, according to law enforcement sources, implicate the Democratic presidential candidate, her subordinates, and even select elected officials in far more alleged serious crimes than mishandling classified and top-secret emails. Sources said, NYPD sources said that those emails include evidence linking Clinton and her associates to money laundering, child exploitation, sex crimes with minors, children, perjury, pay to play through Clinton Foundation, obstruction of justice, and other felony crimes. NYPD detectives and NYPD chief, the department's highest rank under commissioner, said openly that if the FBI and the Justice Department fail to garner timely indictments against Clinton and co-conspirators, NYPD will go public with the damaging emails now in the hands of FBI Director James Comey and many FBI field officials. What's in these emails is staggering, and as a father, it turned my stomach, the NYPD chief said. There's not going to be any Houdini-like escape from what we found. We have copies of everything. We will ship them to WikiLeaks, or I will personally hold my own press conference if it comes to that. NYPD chief said that once Comey saw the alarming contents of the emails, he was forced to reopen a criminal probe against Clinton. People are going to prison, he said. So this is pretty intense, pretty serious. It's not what you're being told on the mainstream media. The reason you're not being told is because they want you to think everything is hunky-dory out there. Everything's great, but it's not great. There's a battle going on, and it's a battle that's taking place within our own government, between members who are helping the corruption and those who are trying to stop it. There's a battle taking place within the FBI and with the Justice Department and with the Department of Homeland Security, and they're having a big battle out there. What's going to happen from this? Well, we'll all have to stay tuned to find out, but this is definitely building to a head, my friends. So don't give up hope at any means. Don't give up hope, because there's a lot of things that are going to go on that are still yet to unfold. Okay, here's another story. DC attorney, FBI agents are working to expose top DOJ officials. Agents within the Federal Bureau of Investigation want to take down personnel at the top of the Justice Department, according to a former DC-based U.S. Justice Attorney. I think the FBI as the Viet Cong, that's what they are. They are digging tunnels under the Justice Department. They're going to sink the place. Washington Attorney Joe DeGenova told the Daily Caller Thursday. DeGenova, who has the Bureau sources close to FBI investigation, named Attorney General Loretta Lynch, Deputy Attorney General Sally Yates, Assistant Attorney General Peter Kaznick, Assistant Attorney General John P. Carlin, and Assistant Attorney General Leslie Caldwell, as senior level staff at DOJ who have done something that they are going to regret. And if you notice, these are all the names involved with what's going on, all the collusion. FBI agents push forward against the wishes of the Justice Department and without the support of Bureau leadership to investigate the Clinton Foundation, according to a Wall Street Journal report. Alright, so we've got some real seriousness is taking place. We've got those who are fighting for the betterment of humanity, trying to fix things here in America. Just because you're not hearing about it on the news doesn't mean anything, because they're not an honest group of people by any means. Okay, and you're finding that out. Now, I brought up here my Facebook page because I want you to see I've been putting up a lot of stories there. I want you to check out. Here's the one I just read you about this. Here we have a Black Snake Prophecy. Check this video out here, all about what's going on with the pipeline and Native American prophecy and how the events taking place all are very significant. Exposed proof FBI Comey was threatened with the Masonic oath of silence for Hillary crimes. Here's an article. Hillary has dropped 60 electoral votes in the last week alone. This was from DCWhispers.com. Here we have McCall, Texas GOP Representative McCall says if elected, Hillary could be impeached. So she's not even elected, and they're already discussing the ideas of impeachment. Here's Hillary with the Muslim Brotherhood. Okay, and again, when I look at this picture of Hillary, there's something different about this than the other pictures of Hillary. And what I see is something in the nose. Okay? Just pay attention to the Hillarys. There's more than one Hillary. And I think the nose is a difference. You could see there's something in the nose. The way she smiles in one is different than in others. Okay, here's an interesting one. This is a bomb that goes off. It's in Iraq, I believe. Yeah, it's in Iraq. And the bomb goes off, and after the bomb goes off, people run into the scene and lay down like they were injured by the bomb blast. So you actually get to see a staged video happening before your eyes. And of course, we have here stories of people trying to trade votes to get past Trump. Okay, FBI is 99% certain that at least 5 foreign services hacked into the Hillary server. Here we go. Law enforcement sources confirm they're ready to file charges against Clinton. Here we have a story of Attorney General is being sued to come clean on the secret Bill Clinton meeting. Here we have a major donor for the Democrats talking very disrespectfully about the black community. Here we have another story here. This shows a decision on the race, which hasn't even happened yet. This has been pulled up, and people are questioning why are there these results being shown when the election hasn't occurred. Is this some form of collusion that's getting ready to take place? In that regard, the graphic has been saved by many people in order to call them out on this nonsense. So if something like this does occur, we could show that we had pre-knowledge of their awareness of what was going on. All right, and then some questions have come up about voting because people have seen the corruption of Hillary, asking, can you change your early vote? And in some states, the answer is yes. And then here's the inner circle of Hillary's people who are all being investigated. Okay, Hillary Clinton learned how to manipulate the law by defending a child rapist. Okay, so lots and lots here. Black Lives Matter co-founder turns on Hillary and exposes the lie that she's been telling America. All right, so a lot of good stories there. Check those out. Check out the stories. You know, we're not being told the truth of what's happening out there in the world by any stretch of the imagination. We're being told a story, okay? And that's all we're being told is a story. And the story that we're being told by the mainstream isn't matching what is going on in the alternative world of social media. Now, social media is very important. Here's an example. Let's say you have a Trump rally. Trump rally's got 20,000 people at the rally. 20,000 people have with them cameras, phones. They're able to take pictures of the event. So people take pictures and they tweet these pictures out. All across the country, people are trading pictures, seeing the crowds at the Trump rally. At that same rally in the back, you have the mainstream media's camera set up there. One of those cameras is CNN. And you've got one person in charge of the Twitter feed for CNN. So they tweet back to CNN what's going on. They send back information. And they tweet out, small crowd at the Trump rally, not a lot of interest as it used to be. Well, the people who are at CNN, they read these stories on the air. So people watching CNN think this is real. However, as soon as this story hits the social networks, which doesn't take very long because people are monitoring all of this information, those who are at the event are able to tell quickly that there's a deception going on. And there the cover is blown, because now we know that the mainstream is lying, because you've got 20,000 people at the event taking pictures of a real event and one person who's controlling a major feed which is putting out fraudulent information. Now, the people that are watching the CNN, the Clinton News Network, they're only going to get the fraudulent information because they're not usually going elsewhere. The people who are online through the social networks get the instant information to find out that they're being manipulated, being lied to, so they can make better decisions. That's the process we're dealing with, my friends. It's going to continue on, I'm telling you. But do not give up hope in what is taking place, because there is something happening much bigger than just a simple election process. There's something much bigger taking place. And so I am going to keep the faith. I'm going to believe that good can win out over bad. You know, over the course of this last weekend, or during the week, we had something miraculous happen here in the United States. The Chicago Cubs won the World Series. Chicago Cubs has been 108 years since that occurred, back to the early 1900s. Chicago Cubs have gone through a whole lot of time where they kept losing. People said there was a curse on the Chicago Cubs. But all of that changed when they won the World Series after 108 years of being in a drought. Now we can kind of look at that as an analogy to America, where for roughly about the same amount of time, 100 and some odd years, we've been under the control of the federal government, which continues to get larger and larger and more oppressive. But there comes an opportunity, just like there was for the Cubs, to break through their problems. there's an opportunity for us to break through our problems. The Chicago Cubs are owned by a family, the Ricketts family. He happened to come out as a Donald Trump supporter. So, again, I see another analogy in here that, there's something going on. There's more good things happening. So, if the Cubs could win the World Series, I think anything is possible. And I think that the signs around us show us that this is a time of change, a time of things that the way they were can now be cleansed and become something else. That's when I saw the Cubs game, and when it got to the end of the 9 innings and both teams were tied, and then it went into the rain delay. The moment that rain delay hit, something changed, and I could feel it, and I knew from that moment forward that the Cubs are going to win, because it felt like with the rain coming, the game had been tied. It felt like at that moment all of the curse thoughts and ideas got washed away and cleansed away, and it just felt like it was a fresh start. And when the Cubs came out to play, they had this renewed sorts of enthusiasm which they didn't have prior to the rain delay. So I think something very significant occurred there. I think something very significant is going to occur in our election process. We just need to understand and remind ourselves that there's more going on behind the scenes. So what is this behind the scenes that's going on? Well, first we have the God principle, which affects everything. And oftentimes we get caught up in the illusions of the physical world, and we think this is all that there is. So we get caught up in this as if this has more power than the God force energy that created everything. It doesn't have more power, but it's the illusion that it does. Okay? It's the illusion that is presented. It's like the mainstream media presenting an illusion. It's not real. It's just a story they're telling you. And as long as you remain ignorant of the truth, you're going to believe this story. You're going to believe the illusion, and you're not going to realize what's really taking place. We have to move past fears. The emotions that we have aren't going to hurt us. We simply need to be able to move past them so we can see past the illusions and understand the truths. There are those who are working very diligently behind the scenes to help us to see the truths. These are our angels. These are our guides. These are those who are wanting to assist us who are still on earth to be able to make the progress that we want to make. So here's a really good article about this particular subject. It's an article over at In5D by Michelle Walling, asking the question, who are your guides and angels? Many articles on in5d.com and other alternative sites have mentioned guides and angels that are waiting to help you through this tumultuous time. Who are you calling on when you invoke your guides and angels for assistance, and how do you know that you are calling on your highest powers? Many people are going through a hard time right now as they witness the third-dimensional reality begin to dissolve around them. In the lowest third dimensions, the banking system is not working in the best interest of humanity. The political system is screwed, the medical system is a fraud, and our children are being stunted, indoctrinated, and programmed in the education system. Our food and water is being poisoned, and America has been teetering on the edge of World War III through 3 presidential elections, and fear seems to be the most prevalent energy on the planet. Even the absurdities that are unfolding. A miraculous thing is also happening that will change the fabric of reality. Many people are waking up and realizing that they do not want to be in this reality that we are living in. In a way, the chaos is bringing a change because we no longer have a choice. For example, we are realizing that it can't get much worse than the annihilation of our species. There are many beings on the outside of this reality watching and helping as humanity goes through a great realization. They are experiencing a horrible nightmare. These beings have vested interest in humanity. They have been called guides, angels, extraterrestrials, sphere beings, time travelers, light beings, and extra-dimensionals. What people may not realize is that they are actually a higher aspect of you. And what happens with you affects them. We are multidimensional beings having a physical experience. This means that we have an aspect of our soul in other dimensions having experiences at the same time that we are here having this experience. We have been cut off from these other lifetimes, but that is rapidly changing. Each person on this planet has a soul, and a spirit incarnated into a human form is also linked to an oversoul. And that oversoul is linked to the source of the creator of everything. The oversoul has sent out fingers of itself and is having many different lifetimes at once in no time. Some of these lifetimes are simple and short, but others are magical and creative. The magical and creative lifetimes tend to stick out as the dominant ones. If you are awakened at this time and you are reading this article, then the lifetime is one of your dominant lifetimes that has an opportunity to serve as the dominant lifetime of your oversoul. What this means is that many of the oversouls are pulling their aspects out of the lower dimensional frequencies. Many aspects got stuck in recurring incarnations and traps that kept them serving other agendas. These lifetimes are simply an experience that helped the oversoul grow, and even if they got stuck, there was always a time that the soul, when the cycle for the lower dimensional experience was to come to an end. It was a failsafe of sorts so that the oversouls didn't lose aspects entirely. You, as an awakened one in the human body, can help your oversoul gather these lifetimes by transmuting energies via emotion and by making the intention to rejoin the oversoul on a conscious level. In this respect, being dominant means being awakened and aware, being that has the ability to help all of the lifetimes of the oversoul heal and move forward. A return to the oversoul is an energy that can be transformed and sent out for another experience. After all, on the higher level, you are an aspect of Source that can do anything. If your oversoul experiences, there are a few other lifetimes that are more whole, healed, and connected to the information than others. Then these lifetime personalities are your higher selves. On a multidimensional scale, they are working in your higher frequencies with more knowledge and understanding than us. This does not make them more powerful than us. It just means that they know who they are and how they are able to help us tap into the same wisdom so that we can be as creative and powerful as they are once again. These aspects of ourselves are the guides and angels that are with us. They watch us and drop ideas into our heads. They're waiting for us consciously to connect with them, to integrate with them. This does not mean that we lose our personality or experiences of who we are. It means that we realize that we've always been connected and multidimensional, and that we can consciously explore these frequencies and experience again and again. When you call on your guides and angels, be sure to call on those aspects of yourself that have your highest and best good in mind. There are many astral beings of fourth dimensional frequency that would love to pose as your guides. They would love for you to give power away to them and simply be calling on a named figure such as Jesus, Saint Germain, Mother Mary, etc. When you do not specifically specify that you want to help in your highest and best interest, you're opening the door to getting whoever would be to fill these shoes. Okay, so once again, you begin calling on your higher self to assist you. Confusion begins to fade away. The veil begins to thin, and you begin to be able to discern what is truth. Life becomes easier as reality literally begins to change before your eyes. The miracles begin to happen, and synchronicities lead you along the highest and best path. This has been my personal experience, and I hope that sharing my perspective helps you move to the next step in your journey. Beginning today, I suggest that you change all modes of connecting with spirits for help and healing that are no longer working for you. If you feel you have tried everything and are still hitting against a brick wall, try this. Connect with your higher aspects of you that have vested interest in your success, as they are waiting for you to integrate and allow them to join you as one here in the physical body. Your body is your temple and should only be shared by you and your oversoul. You've always been connected but have been blocked from them. Another thing you can call on your higher selves and guides and angels to do is to boot out any other guides and angels that have allowed into your energy field that are not of your highest and best interest. Be willing to allow change, be open to new ways of thinking. Your higher self, guides, and angels carry a frequency that will dissolve fear and remove blocks. As you begin to see changes, Learn to let go of control of your reality through the ego, mind, and allow your higher self to drive your vehicle. Learn how to trust yourself and realize that you are seeking guidance to your answers outside of yourself. Then forgive yourself, move on, because there is only one way we could have learned what works best as we conquer our fears and co-create a new way of existence. All right, very good article by Michelle Welling. And, you know, that's so important. We have these guides around us. We have these angels, those that are here to assist us with the process of what is taking place. And we can either work with them, work with the guidance that is being provided, or not. Choices up to us. Up to us each and every day. All right, that brings us to our meditation for today. So I'd like you to go ahead and close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. And exhale again. And another breath. And exhale. Now let's imagine ourselves looking at the world. And as we look at the world, we see the challenges that we are all dealing with. We see the confusion that is taking place as members of society vie for positions of power. And as we see all this going on, we see that this world is like a movie. And there's a projection being sent out into the world, projecting this movie. And we easily get caught up in the movie that is being played. But then when we step back and we look and see, we realize that behind the curtain is the person projecting the movie. And with this projection, we understand that what we are seeing is not real. It's an illusion being created by the man behind the screen, behind the curtain. And so as we realize this, we understand that by turning away from the movie being played or shown to us, by turning away from the physical reality, we see a deeper plan unfolding. And so we connect with this deeper plan. We connect with this deeper divinity. We recognize that it flows through us and through all things, and we recognize our place in the universe is to be at one with this divinity. And as we contemplate what is going on in the world, we realize how we've been separated from our own divine nature. We've been pulled into this physical reality, and it's time for us to see past the illusions. So we imagine looking around and seeing past the illusion being shown to the reality behind the scenes. And the reality behind the scenes is that there are many, many, many good souls working for the betterment of humanity. That there are many good souls not only on earth but in the unseen realms that are assisting us to move forward. And that the illusions that are shown to us are simply that, meant to discourage us from the truth. But now that we've seen the truth, now that we understand the deeper spiritual implications that are affecting us, we're able to let go of the physical, to understand the divine plan at hand. unfolding in our lives now. So let's go through the world this day, observing all that we see and simply understanding it as part of the illusion shown to us, and that our job is to interpret and to see past the illusion to the reality, to the divinity. Heavenly Mother, Heavenly Father, thank you for the blessings of this day, the blessings of the past and the blessings of the future. We know that life is unfolding and that we have an opportunity to be part of great, great changes, great opportunities. And so we simply allow ourselves to soar with spirit, to soar with you, God, as we move through this world. Ever a part of the changes that are positively affecting us now. So let the subconscious mind continue on its journey of observation, of seeing past the illusion, and let's bring our conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3 coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith. And 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale. And open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is the show for today. I will be back on Monday as we get ready for the big announcements and activities of next week. But I'd like to encourage you to go to my Facebook page, go to my Twitter feed, First Contact Now. If you're not already a member, sign up. That way you can get the feeds, because I'm going to continuously be sending out information as I find it over the course of this weekend. And if you're already following, you know that I do a lot of the tweeting, a lot of the Facebook posts. There's a lot of information that's going to come out this weekend. WikiLeaks has more stuff that's coming forward. Anonymous has more stuff. Project Veritas has more stuff. You can bet that the mainstream media is going to be working in overtime spin mode to keep the general population from knowing this. But we, the people, we're going to share this information so that we can override any of their ways that they have of trying to stop it. Remember, this is a time when all things are possible. All things are possible. You know, thought occurred to me, people often ask, why is it that God allows bad things to happen? But I don't think it is that God allows bad things to happen. I think God allowed us to have free will, and therefore allows us to make choices and then experience the effects, the results of those choices. We've just made bad choices that have allowed us to get caught up in a whole bunch of nonsense. So it's not that God is allowing bad things to happen. God is simply allowing us to make our choices and decisions and allowing that to play out so we learn the consequences of such actions. We need to change our ways, my friend. The opportunity's here. This is a great time of great change, so let's make it through it. Be positive. Everything's going to be all right. I'll be back next week. Till then, have yourselves a great day. I love you. Keep loving each other, and I will talk to you soon. Peace. I'm out of here.